Like, this does not make sense. When I went to buy the car, if you remember, I took a used car salesman with me. Okay, and he did a really horrible job negotiating regardless, especially because when I bought it, there was like no other fucking cars available, even though I still lucked out and got the Taycan before like the shipment of Taycans burned in the middle of the fucking ocean. You know what I mean? So like, and also before the gas prices went fucking bananas. But having said that, even then, it was like jacked up. This is the car salesman version of like getting high on your own supply. I don't understand why. I do not understand why this happened. Okay? I do not understand how this could happen. I worked for GM and was looking at a Sierra 1500 and they wouldn't do less than $1,300 a month for me, lol. I'll stick with my '08 Tahoe, thanks. Like, I just don't understand why they're so proud of getting fucked over by their own kind. Rule to live by: if your car payment is more than your monthly repair cost for your current car, you don't need a new car. Yeah. No, it's not worse deals. It's dealerships fucking everyone. They started the high prices after Donut Media started making the videos. Dude, the car market, the used car market is fucking out of control. Okay? The car market in general, dealerships in general are a perfect example of artificial scarcity. First, it happened because of COVID, because of the supply lines being disrupted, because of logistics falling apart, because of the chip shortage, right? There was a legitimate shortage in new vehicles. Then the used car market went fucking crazy. And in that process, dealerships found out that they don't actually have to constantly have 300 fucking cars on the lot that is not getting sold and depreciating and take a risk. When people are willing to pay insane premiums, insane markups for vehicles, because in America, we have no adequate public transit. So if you don't have a car, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to get a fucking car. If you don't have a car, what are you going to do? Walk? You can't do that. There's no sidewalks. If you don't have a car, what are you going to do? Bike? You can't do that. There's no bike lanes. If you don't have a car, what are you going to do? You can't take the you can't take the bus. It doesn't exist in like hella cities. I mean, it does, but it's inadequate. Okay? So what ended up happening is dealerships realized like, oh shit, we could just fucking mark shit up and make insane profit margins rather than constantly have a steady flow of new cars. So now you're making profit off of like one car that you would make off of selling 12 cars. So they kept up artificial scarcity. Car dealerships went completely bananas. They went completely fucking bananas. Okay? That's part of the reason why these insane payment plans are out there. And even the people who are selling you these insane payment plans are themselves buying into these insane payment plans. What the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. What is this? This video explains all the different scams dealerships have been pulling.
I believe that.
I mean, the biggest scam is the top of the hour ad break, obviously. A scam that I pull once an hour, where I serve you a 6-second ad break. Now, of course, if you don't want to be hit in the face with that scam, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. That's right. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. You can use it on your favorite broadcaster. That's me. Or you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Walnuts, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Here's the 1-minute ad break now.
have to go to a non-negotiated price, totally online, transparent, 100% pickup and delivery model.
Ford has...
Wait, I still haven't finished this video. I'm sorry. We're going to look at that in a second.
Nice payment. Hey, sir. What is your car payment?
Bro, what's your car payment? And what kind of car are you driving?
You know, honestly, I was about to make my car payment. I'll even show you. It's kind of funny, everybody's talking about high payments. Look at that number right there. That's my car payment.
Dang!
2021 wide-body Hellcat Charger.
Hellcat. Deranged, dude. This is so funny. It's literally, this is just America, dude. This is the working class of America, baby. These are all the fucking Republican, the Republican weirdos who think that they are like the billionaires. You know what I mean? These are the same. This is why so many people. This is why so many people fucking operate under this like weird assumption that they themselves are like billionaires, because America gives them that like billionaire lifestyle attitude. You know what I mean? You could be making like $100K a year, okay? You could be making $100,000 a year. And then you make an insane car payment, like $1,500. For $1,500, you could buy like an incredibly expensive toy that you certainly do not need, that you could certainly get a much cheaper model on. But hey, that makes you feel good. It's fine. And you know, you just continue along with the idea that you are one day going to become a millionaire. So yeah, you should fight for those tax breaks, for those tax cuts that are not going to actually, coming for you, right? But instead coming for the extremely wealthy.
has a huge problem, and CEO Jim Farley has had enough. The Ford Motor Company has been in operation for over a century and has always sold through a dealership model. But this model doesn't work anymore. In a world where online is the norm, people are becoming more and more apprehensive about purchasing a car from a dealership. You need to
They scapegoat the dealerships for the shit they pull off? No. Guys, it's capitalism. Every step on the supply chain plays a role with their own individual markups, okay? Yes, I don't believe for a second that it's just on the dealership. Last year in Turkey, we learned that the car manufacturers are not meeting their promised orders that were ordered by customers directly and selling them to dealerships for higher prices. They scapegoat the dealerships for the shit they pull off. Yes, they're doing it. The dealerships are doing it. Everyone is in on it. And ultimately, you're just the one getting doing it. Everyone is in on it. And ultimately, you're just the one getting shafted extra hard.
haggle and wait around for hours, all the while hoping you're not being taken advantage of by the dealer. And unfortunately, dealerships are doing just that. One dealership was marking up its Ford F-150 Lightnings $50,000 above suggested retail pricing.
50?
And this is not an isolated case. Join us today as we
Brother, that's a new car. That's a whole ass other car, man. That's two F-150 Lightnings. That's like, you could get a whole nother Lightning with that price point.
explore why it's not such a straightforward problem and what the Ford...
That's not even one. That's like two cars 5 years ago. 5 years ago, that's two individual cars that you get. That's two Mavericks, dude.
Ford CEO is doing about it. To fully understand why this is such a large problem, we must first understand why dealerships exist. Car dealerships first came into existence in the early 1900s as a way for Ford to sell its vehicles to customers. The first dealerships were simply horse and buggy dealers who agreed to sell Ford vehicles. Henry Ford then officially established a franchise network of competing dealerships in 1914. Little did he know the problems it would later cause. At the time, they were an excellent scaling strategy. The dealers would be closer to customers and could provide them with a better buying and servicing experience. At the same time, Ford could skip the need to build out physical locations across the country. By the 1930s, dealerships had large showrooms where customers could examine the newest models, speak to a trained salesperson, and resolve any issues that they had with a previously purchased car, all branded under the Ford name. Today, Ford has more than 3,000 dealerships that employ more than 170,000 people across the United States. So, where's the problem? There are two main problems. The first is that they are all franchised.
Wait, internet backlash forces dealer to sell Corvette Z at MSRP after planned $90K markup. A $90K markup for the Corvette Z? Remember, for those of you who don't know, this was supposed to be an affordable luxury vehicle, okay? Like, the Corvette Z was literally supposed to be an affordable luxury vehicle. Like, they wanted to make it like an affordable supercar. So it was, it's cheaper than the fucking markup, dude. Not a luxury vehicle? No, the car itself, the Corvette Z is supposed to be like, what, 80 grand? No? The Corvette Stingray base is at 60K. The Z is a different version of it. Oh, okay, the highest trim level. Yeah, the regular Corvette is like around 60K, and it goes up to like 80K, I thought, and it maxes out at 80K. It's an American Ferrari. It's mid-engine and beautiful. No. It was created specifically. It's under 100K MSRP. It was created specifically so that, like, there was an American sports car, okay, like a luxury supercar that was supposed to be affordable, like in comparison to its competitors, which is a fucking Lamborghini. Okay, yeah, it says starting at 105. The Z version is starting at 105 grand. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking base model. A lot of these have crazy trim, and that's usually where you get like the fat markups and whatever. But the 2022 Corvette Z, if I'm not the Corvette Z, but the 2022 Corvette was supposed to be a relatively affordable luxury supercar, right? In comparison to its competitors in the market, which are like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, like the Porsche 911. It was supposed to be cheaper than those, like significantly cheaper. Okay? An affordable mid-engine sports car. Yes. The car itself is MSRP is $105,000. They marked it up and doubled it, dude. What the fuck? You can't put a 90 grand markup on this shit? That's crazy. I have a local Ford dealership in New York City that's selling a 50K Mustang for 96 grand, a 46 grand markup. I can send the link. It's hilarious. People are fucking out of their minds, dude. Nobody buy American muscle cars. My dad decided to buy a 2019 Shelby Cobra GT 350. I tried unsuccessfully to talk him into a GTR instead. He still spent like 75K. Less than 2 years later, under 10K miles, it need a fucking engine replacement. Hogs can't build cars well no more. First of all, Americans have never been able to build cars well. The joke was always that, like, what? The joke always was that, like, American vehicles were always subpar in comparison to the engineering of like European vehicles, and also the engineering certainly of like Japanese vehicles and shit. Yeah. Ford, fix or repair daily. You are totally correct. The Vet was the poor man's Ferrari for the masses. The Z0 is like the super sport version, more track car. Chevy was supposed to sell those at the EU sports car market, but as you see. Yeah. Don't be amazed by supply and demand. Yeah, dude, I know. You can supply and demand your way out of this as much as you want, but ultimately these are fucking unreasonable and incredibly, incredibly high price points. Every car is like marked up and getting to a degree where it's like 2x, dude. That's not a markup at that point. 5 grand is a markup. Double the price of a car is fucking stupid. And you are getting fucked over, and you are literally saying, well, it's okay that this dick is directly in my ass because, hey, who cares? That's supply and demand, baby. They're taking advantage of you, and you're advocating for it. It's price gouging. Now, we're talking about luxury vehicles, right? So who cares? Obviously. Oh, price gouging on luxury sports vehicles, like a mid-engine sports car. Who gives a fuck? Fuck you, rich guy. You're right. But that price gouging isn't happening just on the luxury vehicle market, okay? It's happening on the used car market, specifically with economy cars, because people who are buying economy cars are buying economy cars because they need it. They need it. They desperately need it. We have no public transportation. We have no fucking walkability in our cities. We have no bike lanes or anything like that. So they need it to do their daily fucking, their daily route. They need it. They need it. In the United States of America, vehicles are almost like, vehicles are basically inelastic demand at this point. It's like unbearable and unheard of. European chatters are probably like, what do you mean inelastic demand? It's like, no, you can't go anywhere without a car. Nolan says $74,000 markup on a car with an MSRP of $55K. I'm heated. What's the point of anything if prices are arbitrary? I don't really care about supercars because they're so out of reach, I guess. I'll just start thinking about normal cars that way too. Nissan USA, you need to fix this. A Nissan 2023Z has a fucking 73 grand markup, dude. A 74 grand markup. The car itself is cheaper than the fucking markup. You said there are places without sidewalks? That sounds psychotic in a city. Welcome to America, baby. Dealership wanted $425 a month for a 2013 Corolla Sport Edition. I pay less for a 2016 BMW. What the fuck? $425 a month for a 2013 Toyota Corolla Sport? Holy fuck, I shouldn't have given my Camry to Myth. I should have just like sold it. Should have stole it and sold it. God damn, shit's fucking crazy out here, dude. And yes, this is not exclusive to dealerships. Dealerships are the ones who are touching the consumers, obviously. So it's the most immediate markup. It's the most immediate fucked up part of the process. So you get it. You see it directly, right? It's the consumer facing side. It's not B2B, right? So you see them fucking you over directly. So that's why you're like hyper focusing on this.
Franchises, and the second issue is a minefield of red tape and archaic laws. As the showrooms are franchises, Ford does not own them, nor do they fully control what happens at the dealership. The automobile industry has been in a tailspin since the shutdown, and the shortage of semiconductors is wreaking havoc on supply chains. This new climate has created a situation where dealers and Ford are completely unaligned. Ford wants to sell cars to their customers at an affordable price. Dealers, on the other hand, are in a situation where there is a lot.
Didn't you advocate for Twitch subs being marketed with $10? That's such a funny. That's such a funny lie to make up.
Lot of demand and very low supply. 2020 and 2021 were tough times, and now they are unable to resist the temptation to cash in by charging exorbitant prices. A New York City man reported a 2021 Ford Bronco at a New Jersey dealership with a manufacturer's suggested retail price of
The idea that Ford wants to sell vehicles at affordable prices is fucking ridiculous, dude. That's not true either. No, Ford, just like the dealership, want to get the most amount of money for their fucking product, okay? The idea that they're like, oh yeah, we care about the consumers and that's why we want to make sure that there's like some kind of price stability. Okay, make more fucking cars then. It's not like the dealerships wouldn't fucking buy them outright. I mean, there is a certain degree to it, but there's a certain degree of truth to that. Like, obviously, they don't want, like, the reason why they make the Maverick, for example, is because they do want to sell more of the car. It's a cheaper car to make, and they want more of that car out there, right? They want people to be able to buy a relatively affordable pickup truck, right? Ford knows the market will go apeshit for an economy truck. Yeah, except they can't. This kind of cucks their plan of creating an economy truck, because you can't get an economy truck if the economically feasible truck is still the same price point as a fucking F-150. You know what I mean?
$34,855 being sold instead for $49,855. A Ford Lightning Owners Forum member recently reported an F-150 Lightning at a California dealership with a suggested retail price of $91,000 was being sold for $145,309. The situation was similar for the Ford Mustang Mach-E electric crossover. Inside EVs discovered the dealers were increasing prices on the Mustang Mach-E by up to $15,000 due to the strong demand for the car, even for customers who had already placed their orders.
Yeah, Ford hates that. Ford hates having to raise the MSRP by 15 grand because of the strong demand for the car. They're like, oh man, that sucks.
So, the answer is simple. Let's get rid of dealers, right? And this is where the second problem reveals itself. In the United States, there are strict franchising and dealership laws that protect the dealerships and the jobs they provide. 48 states have laws that limit or ban manufacturers from selling directly to customers. They must be sold exclusively through dealerships. As Ford has long-standing agreements and contracts in place, it makes it incredibly difficult to free themselves. Tesla, on the other hand, has never sold through the dealership model. Elon Musk's company has always maintained that dealerships will not be able to adequately communicate the benefits and differences of owning an EV compared to owning a conventional car. Therefore, they only sell direct or online. It is for this reason that Tesla only operates 170 showrooms and galleries in just 29 states. Tesla came up with the name Gallery to get around these laws, as they are not selling cars but merely providing a space where potential customers can learn about their products. In these galleries, Tesla employees are not permitted to discuss pricing or finalize a purchase. In a Tesla gallery, orders are strictly taken over the phone or online. These purchases are handled as out-of-state transactions and must be finalized.
Yeah, so they can provide direct price gouging. I mean, yeah, they do that too. But when you cut out the middlemen, at least like it's a little bit cheaper. However, when you also don't have fucking dealerships, when you also do not have dealerships, then there are other additional issues that come along with it, with like repairs and whatnot. That's why that's why Teslas also have I don't know. That's why Teslas also have this like dog shit, fixing car repair model as well.
Finalized before the vehicle is shipped into the state. Although operationally complex, this creates an extremely streamlined model for Tesla and allows them to avoid middlemen and unwanted price increases. So, what will Ford do? According to multiple dealers, Ford tried to address the problem in a recent memo, explaining that raising prices had to stop, or the
dealership I ordered my Bronco Sport from told me they had to sell it to me for MSRP per Ford, but if I didn't show up to buy it, they would have then marked it up by 10K-ish. Now I flipped it 9 months later for 4K over the MSRP. Bro, what do you guys do? Everyone just turned into like little capitalists, okay? Everyone is a little capitalist. But like everything is literally now the same. Everything is like supreme. If you want a car, you go with the supreme model. You know what I mean? You get a car and then you flip it. Everyone's a hustler. That's why these Hustlers University type schemes are so fucking prominent. Everyone's a mini scalper. Everyone's like, oh, let's add another layer. I'm sure that guy didn't do it on purpose or deliberately or whatever. Look, maybe you needed the extra money more than you needed a car or whatever. But But it has gotten to a point where it does feel as though like something that you need to go and do your daily commute and to go to work and whatnot has turned into something that you can also flip and make a little bit of side cash.
Dealerships' stock would be impacted. However, a simple warning didn't seem to work. So, in a recently updated memo directly from Jim Farley, they have implemented a strict name match system, meaning that if a person orders a vehicle, then that person must be the sole recipient. Previously, dealers could use a loophole where within 120 days of the sale, the name match policy could be voided, meaning a dealership could order an F-150 Lightning and then tell Ford the customer had changed their mind. As long as they did this within 120 days of the sale, the dealership could receive the vehicle and sell it to anybody they wanted to, at an increased price, of course. The new policy says that 75% of cars ordered by dealers must be name-matched to a customer with a strict no-cancellation policy. Dealers will now be held accountable for any name-match policy violations, regardless of the circumstances. In 2023, this will rise to an 80% name-match requirement. The consequences of breaking the name match have been heightened too. Dealers will lose a month's worth of allocations if they are caught breaking the name match, and dealers who break the name match 3 times will be terminated as a dealer. Jim Farley wants the dealerships to toe the line, but at the same time understands that removing them entirely is not the answer, or even possible at this stage. In a recent interview with Morgan Stanley, Farley suggested it is not that simple to just go direct. It seems he can see a future where customers can still go to a dealership if things go wrong, but where the price of cars is transparent and regulated. Once we put in these standards, we can go to this leaner model for purchase and still have a physical follow-up for when things go wrong, said the Ford CEO. Henry Ford's introduction of the Ford Model T in 1908 kick-started the modern vehicle industry as we know it today. 104 years later, Jim Farley has accepted the mammoth task of transforming a corporate juggernaut with archaic procedures into a company that operates like a startup. The old ways of selling cars do not...
This one, oh my God, it's just, it's like literally sucking off, I mean, this is dick riding. This is Aiden Ross levels of dick riding, okay?
Not work in the EV age. Unnecessary price increases will only frustrate customers and drive them to competitors. To stay ahead of the curve, Ford needs to make some changes, and they need to make them quickly. And Farley seems to understand. He has split Ford into 2 separate enterprises, one for traditional ICE cars and one for self-driving and electric vehicles. They have done this to give freedom to the EV side to innovate, avoid corporate red tape, and above all, move quickly. Let us know if you've had experiences with these price hikes. Has it put you off Ford, or do you think it's a teething problem? Let us know in the comments.